Welcome back. Last week we had a double whammy question about scaling your business, and it really got me thinking. So this September and October, I think we're going to have a bit of a focus on this subject. Anyway, last week we discussed reasons to scale your business, and that was, for me, just as by way of a reminder, number one, I wanted to increase the value of my business. I wanted to create a saleable asset, and I wanted to stop the business being Kate reliant or Kate centric, and I wanted to achieve better buying rates through volume. And then the final one is that I wanted to spread risk. So they were my 5 main reasons for scale. But it's really not easy, and I will now tell you the biggest personal challenges I have had, and others that I know who have done so, faced in scaling all our businesses. So now we're going to discuss the biggest challenges of scale, and I guess there's probably 5 key areas which I think you need to look at, and the first one is this: that no one will do your job as well as you can. The shift from a small business to a larger business will inevitably lead to a dilution from your personal message and service delivery. In its purest form, it's like when I first started my courier company 23 years ago. Once upon a time, I hand delivered parcels. I absolutely knew they got there because I picked them up from my clients and I drove them to their destination. But in my scale business, we deliver thousands of parcels a day, so I can't possibly deliver them all. So they won't be delivered in quite the same way, and you have to deal with that. So that was quite a big one. Number 2 would be, the bigger you get, the more assholes you come across. And this is quite possibly the worst bit about scaling my business. I lived in a small business bubble for the best part of 20 years, thinking only a tiny minority of people are dodgy, liars, dishonest in business. And the reality is, the bigger your business is, the more of humanity you are exposed to. And there is a surprisingly high asshole ratio. The bigger you get, the more you come across them, and it's a real challenge, not an impossible one, but a real challenge, particularly if you're a bit of a hippie like me, to overcome that and to toughen yourself up to deal with a plethora of them. So number 3 is that it takes a long time until it's worth it. And this is a real reality check in scaling your business. You can very possibly, and I talk from experience, grow your business tenfold before it starts to make you any more money. If you decide to change its form, i.e. take on a team and offices and expand geographically, and as I said, I say this from particularly my own experience, you know, the vast majority of businesses in the UK do not expand their turnovers to over £1 million, which is typically just that one-side operation with the proprietor functioning as a working employee within the business. Because to be frank, the leap from that 1 million to 10 million, which is when the revenues will start to have exponential effect in terms of your personal benefit or personal impact, and it's just too hard. And I'll tell you a few hard facts. I earned very little for the first 3 years of taking my business from the 1 million to 10 million because we needed to minimise costs to reinvest in the expansion program. So that period from the 1 mil to 10 mil, which took us those 3 years, is just really tough and really ungratifying. And you have to keep the faith, because the transformation of your business into these different entities between these 2 states is really, really hard. And it's not the first time I've tried to scale my business either. My first attempt was in 1996, but I didn't have the finance or the wherewithal or the balls, to be frank, in the end, to break through the cost level, the fear level, and the persistence level you really need to expand. So I dropped back down to cottage industry level, and you have to be very determined to go through that big period of undeniable hard work before it seems worthwhile. So be warned on that one. The 4th one is that there is no nirvana in scale. I think people think scale provides a halcyon concept of a company whereby it all runs smoothly, cash is no longer an issue, and you're earning a fortune. Well, it ain't. It's still challenging, maybe in different ways, but trust me, it's still challenging. So if you think you scale to £10 million and then miraculously everything will be different, you're right, it will be different, but no less stressful. Business is what it is, and your stresses change. You'll have a struggle making ends meet if you're still struggling for cash at £10 million, so best sort that challenge out in the early stages, but you will still have stresses. Yeah, so that's a biggie. So, and I guess number 5 would be scale, maybe bad for business and bad for you. So if you are your business and your clients love you and the personal rapport that you have with them, then scale can absolutely button up. I know of 2 particular companies that I deal with now because I deal with them personally, and if they scale their businesses too much further, I won't keep using them. I particularly use them because they are small and personalised providers, and I'm already seeing little hints of commoditisation, which I, as a client, hate, and it will stop me from using them. So you have to think about scale and the whys and the whats and the challenges of what you might face. It's a great idea for some and possibly a bad idea for others. So whatever you do, you need to have a big think, have a big plan, and be careful before you tread on the yellow brick road of scale. Good luck with it all, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.